Support comes from Hampton Roads Community Foundation, partnering with donors from all walks of life to improve southeastern Virginia through grants, scholarships, and leadership initiatives. Learn more at hamptonroadscf.org.
Hello, everyone. I'm Barbara Hamley. At one time, in many cultures, including the African American culture, the wisdom of the elders was revered. Sitting down with an elder, asking for advice, listening to the lessons they shared to help you live better and avoid life's pitfalls, that was special. But in today's society, growing older sadly means to some that you are just no longer relevant. We see ageism everywhere, from job discrimination to healthcare to politics. Up next on Another View, a candid conversation with our roundtable pundits on their aging journey. And we want you to share your journey too. Stay tuned. Another View is next, right after this national, regional, and local news from NPR and WHRO News.
Discussing today's topics from an African American perspective, this is Another View.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Another View. I'm Barbara Hamley. Couple of announcements before we get started with our show today. Got a note from our very own favorite cardiologist on Another View, Dr. Keith Newby, and he says, I am thrilled to share the exciting news of his upcoming event as Market Director for Community Health Improvement and Engagement with Bon Secours. He is holding a diabetes education class. Now, it is tomorrow, Friday, April the 12th, from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. at the historic First Baptist Church, which is at 418 East Butte Street in Norfolk. It is free and open to everyone. And this informative session aims to provide valuable insights and tips on managing diabetes complications effectively. Keith says, as a practicing cardiologist, quote, I'm tired of seeing our African-American brothers and sisters suffer from diabetes complications such as stroke, heart attack, neuropathy, blindness, kidney failure, and early amputation. Through education and God's grace, we can make a difference. And he says, if you or a family member are diabetic or you just want to learn more, please come out. It is free, open to everyone. It is tomorrow, April the 12th, from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. at the historic First Baptist Church on Butte Street in Norfolk. Everyone is invited to attend. Also want to let you know that the Chesapeake, Virginia Beach alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is hosting a free workshop for young men entitled Embody 2024, Barbershop Conversations Part 2. Now, this workshop will take place on Saturday, April the 27th at 10 a.m. At 4 Kids, which is located at 1001 Poindexter Street in Chesapeake. They're starting with breakfast at 9:30, so get there early so you can get something to eat. The Embody program, which stands for Empowering Males to Build Opportunities for Developing Independence, is one of Delta's national programs, and the purpose is to focus on improving the plight of African American males. During the workshop, participants will engage in interactive sessions exploring the areas of STEM, self-image and personal development, social engagement with law enforcement, mental health, and more. There'll be food, music, giveaways, and a lot of fun. So if you want to register, please follow the Chesapeake, Virginia Beach alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta on Instagram at CVBACDST, and they will tell you how to register for this free event. Lots of good things going on in our community, and I hope that you will participate. So every day we grow older, and we view that advancement in age differently depending on where we are in life's journey. Racism, discrimination, healthcare disparities, and other socioeconomic factors can color our perspectives on aging. So in today's Another View, we get personal with our Another View Roundtable pundits about their perspectives on growing older. So let's meet our pundits. Alvean Lyons, he's a relationship expert, talk show host, podcaster, and author. Hey, Alvean, how are you?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
It is so good to have you on today. And, actually, you and I were kind of the catalyst for this conversation.
We were having some great conversation about these realities.
Absolutely. So looking forward to that. Gaylene Kanoyton is a political consultant, connector, and president of the Hampton NAACP. Hey, Gaylene.
Hello, glad to be here. And I'm a senior millennial.
A senior
Just want y'all to know,
millennial.
before to get the conversation started. I stole it, didn't I, Allison?
Allison Moore is a clean comedian and a human resources specialist. Hey, Allison.
Hey, y'all. Hey, I am cleanish.
Cleanish. Oh.
And so if she is the senior millennial, then who am I? I'm the senior.
You're the baby. No, you can't be the baby millennial.
I'm a senior Gen Z.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about all of where y'all fall on the spectrum. And the treasurer for the city of Norfolk, our very own Daun Hester. Hey, Daun, how you doing?
I'm fine. Hello, everybody, and I am the elder of the group.
Well, if you are the elder, I am right behind you. So there we go. So, I wanted
elder or co-elder
but Gaylene, when she came in, she said, we're going to be talking about aging, and that's great, but we got to talk about something that's really old, which is the state of Arizona and what they have done in terms of reenacting an 1864 law banning abortion. So, Gaylene, I'm going to let you take it away on that. How are you feeling about that?
Well, on the way here, I listened to the actual vote. And you have to listen to it because he shut it down immediately. Who's in favor? Everybody went, yay, yay, yay. And then it said, who's against it? And then it was like getting ready to say, okay, the ayes have it. I mean, it was horrendous the way this vote has been taken. I mean, here we are in 2024, and we have a state Supreme Court that changed it to 1864. That means that any doctor that does a procedure, abortion procedure, it's a felony, 2 to 5 years. Even though the Commonwealth's attorneys and attorney general said they ain't gonna prosecute it, but for the thought process. Is that where we are right now?
And the fact that Arizona is such a swing state is really going to make a difference in the presidential election that's coming up. Although it's interesting watching the candidates try to figure out what their stand is.
Oh, yeah, they're doing an electric slide. The Republicans doing an electric slide on this one. To the left, to the left.
Alvean, you have anything you want to add to that?
Well, besides laughter,
it's not funny though, right?
Just the fact that, it's the pretzel that we're watching people bend themselves into trying to avoid addressing a very real issue and knowing that it's going to be politically costly to be able to stand on all 10 toes down on what your colleagues just did in Arizona, right? So people are being very agile, to say the least, flexible, pretzel-like in trying to avoid having to own what has just taken place. But I mean, from a female perspective, one of the things that greatly set us back, and everybody knows, let me be very clear for those of you who think this is so political and we're picking one side or the other, let me be clear. I am pro-life for me. I just recognize that everybody needs to make their own choice, right? And if we build a society that takes care of those who decide they want to have their children, you'd have far less abortions if people would invest in the whole life and the care of the mothers and the babies. It's not just let's be pro-fetus. Are you really pro-life is the issue. And don't try to suggest that being Democratic means that you are pro-death or killing children, because that's not true, not even close to true. What the issue is we just want it to be pro-freedom for those of us who identify as Democrat to have the opportunity to make the decision for yourself, between you and your God, what it is that you want to do for your life. But as women, when people are making decisions for us, we have seen this story before. We know what this means as a society. And it's not even just about abortion. It's about the setback that every time someone is making a decision for you, be you male, female, woman, whatever it is, it changes the dynamic and the personal empowerment. And in a free America, people want to have the freedom to make choices for their own lives.
Absolutely. Daun?
of course, I agree with everything that has been said. I just wish, too, that people would focus on the health aspect of all of this, because that is what helps us to be able to live long and get to an ageism question and reduce mental health issues. If we are able to make decisions with our doctor, with our family, and with the God that we serve, and we make a decision for ourselves. But I just wish, I do understand why people want to control women, some people. But what I don't understand is why those same people don't understand that the majority of women are not going to be controlled. It's not 1864 anymore. It's 2024, and we're not going backwards. And so that pretzel that they're putting themselves in, it's going to be a knot that's going to yoke so hard.
I'll let you have the last word on this one, Miss Allison, and then we'll move on to our other topic.
Yeah, my word is Gaylene being a teacher's pet, because I thought we had agreed we were going to lay off on the homework and the study. I said, Dago, I knew I should have just listened to the news today on my way here. Be more careful. 1864, my phone going dead. I can't Google nothing. I thought we were talking about me trying to fight not being,
we are.
a grandma Gen Z.
We are. So
smart people.
I know. Can I just say one thing for her last word? Her defense?
Yeah, say it for my word.
We just came off of 2 days of maternal health convening with USHHS. It was Newport News, and we had CMS and people from all over Region 3 to do this. And when I looked at, when we talked about maternal health and how we have 3 times more black women dying on a table than white women. And then you talk about this 1864 here. We're not even taking care of our pregnant black and brown women.
Yeah.
Even though white women have dying on a table too. But we're not even taking care of it, because these doctors, and I'm not saying all doctors, but they're not listening to women. So we have white men who made the decision in Arizona, basically, that are making decisions for our bodies on all spectrums. And that's to the point of what Alvean was saying.
Yeah. We've done several shows on maternal health, and as a matter of fact, we sent a reporter out to the conference, and we're going to follow up and do a further show on that in the future. So let's talk about this whole aging thing. First, I want to invite the audience to join us. The number is 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. And we're talking about the aging journey and what has changed in the decades as you've gotten older. So I want to start, though, by going around for each of you to tell me, what decade are you in? Now, you can say your actual age if you want. That's up to you. But if you decide not to, are you at the beginning, middle, or end of your particular decade? So we can get a perspective. So, Alvean, where are you?
You mean when I'm not lying about it?
Yes, when you're not lying about it, when you're telling the truth.
What day? What day is this? Let's see.
Because I stay 39. Okay, just for the record. But so my 2024 answer is I'm almost 45. It's just that I've overshot it a little bit, but nobody needs to know exactly how much I overshot it. So
okay, so
40s
you're in the 40s,
and
you're towards the end of your decade.
So I'm late. I guess it's the end of my middle. So I've shifted into the end.
Okay.
So late 40s technically.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Dawn, where are you?
I'm 68.
Okay.
Simply there. I'm reaching for that 7-0.
And I am 66. Will be 67 in June. So I'll say I'm 67 at this point. Allison, where are you?
Maturity-wise, I'm about 17. I'm
Chronologically, where are you?
I'm 40.
You're 40. Okay. All right. And Gaylene?
And I just turned 64.
64.
Give me one for 40. I'm 60-40.
64.
Yeah.
Yes,
64.
She said 64.
I'm sex-storty.
You sex-storty. Okay. All right. So the average life expectancy for African American women is 80, I believe it's 80.6 years. Okay. So that's according to government data. So keeping that in mind, where are you on track, Gaylene, for fulfilling the goals that you want to fulfill? If that's the average.
No, I still have a lot of work to do. I mean, a lot of work. I think when you're at the age where I'm in, several of us are in this sexty era, I think that you start to think about, what do I have left to do that I want to do? Of course, I'm going to live to be 110 or more. I know that. But when I talk about the eclipse, the next one will be here in 24 years. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be like 80-something years old here, right? Although my son said, and we'll be watching it together, right? But you start thinking about, what now financially. You start thinking about your accomplishments and what do you want to accomplish and everything that you want to do on your bucket list. Those are the kinds of things that I think about now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Allison, you're in your 40s. Now, you're in the early end or the middle or the late end of the 40s?
I'm 40.
You're 40, exactly. Okay. So are you thinking about those same things that Gaylene just said, or what's your focus at this age?
Yeah, I'm thinking about those same things, maybe in a different way. But I have both my mother and my grandmother, they passed away earlier. So I have fears that I won't make it to older years. And so therefore I have this. And I did a bid. I was locked up for 17 years. Yeah, I was in the jail called bad marriage. And so anyway, so I'm out. I'm outside now.
You got out?
Yeah, I'm out. And it's different.
Are you on parole?
I got some probation officers out there. I tell you, shout out to them. But so in this journey, I am reminding myself, and I have a couple of people in my community that are like, just breathe, slow down, because I think I'm like hyper panicked. I don't have a lot of time, and I was locked up, and now with society when I first got out of my bed, I was like, well, this is great. I'm fine. I'm young, and then over the last 2 years, society is like, oh no, girl, you older, and you don't have a lot of time. And your peak is you at your peak, and you better do it all this week because, you better be 41. So those type of pressures. But I hang out with people who, my mother is deceased, but her best friends, they're 73, 74, 75. So I feel like I'm young until certain parts of society say that I'm not.
Say that you're not. Okay. Dawn, since you and I are on the older set of the ladies that we hang out with here on this round table.
Well, I plan to see the eclipse when it comes again.
There you go.
So that's what I'm planning for. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing my best to stay healthy, doing my best to save my money so that I can go where I want to go when I want to go, see who I want to see, and still do, all those things. I still love working, so I'm going to continue to do that as long as I enjoy it and I'm making a difference in it. 40 is young. Keep that in mind. But it's really the day-to-day that we get, and it's what we do in the day that we have that gets us to the next day, because none of us know how far or how long we're going to go. We know what our genetics are. My father lived to be 92. My mama lived to be 89. So it's in the genes to live if I take care of myself health-wise. But then we still don't know what life holds. So, we do have to plan for those things. And I do think that I have planned for that because, I can go play now as much as I want to. I'm spoiling the grands and the great-grands that I have and the ones that are coming. So you have to find that balance, too, of the importance and making sure that you are doing what's important for you, and then taking care of yourself and your family.
Yeah. Alvean?
So my intention is to not only complete what it is that I was assigned to do, but I'm trying to take care of some things that other people were assigned to do and didn't get done during their lifetimes. So for all of you people who are underperforming, I'm going to make up for you. You know, like so. Which honestly, like for real, is part of the reason I actually, and I totally cop to this, I struggle with aging. While I fully embrace the wisdom of aging, I struggle with the notion of the clock, you know, like, and the things that have happened to my life and in my life, having gotten married so early. As some of you know, I got married. My husband and I were 19 and 20 when we got married. So we have adult children now as we're coming out of our mid-40s, right? Like, and our children well, now that we're just going to put it out there today because most people don't even know, our child has a child.
Yay,
but
congrats.
we don't even, thanks. We don't even tell people. You know, I mean, now it's on air, so ta-da,
now they know.
You know, like, but everybody knows. But we have a grandbaby, and his name is Gabriel. And but when people see us with Gabriel, because we were so young, we weren't even out of our 30s when he was born, because we got married so young, and then our daughter got married so young, and then she had him. We weren't even out of our 30s, and the judgment that came with being so young as parents, even though we've had, you know, at the time, 20 years of successful, beautiful marriage that we wouldn't take back. There was such judgment because we were African American. So there was already the thing that comes with that. And then you had a kid young, so there was the thing that came with that. And then your kid got married and had a kid young. Not that she was just some baby mama somewhere. She got married to her high school sweetheart and had a child in marriage. But because of the judgment, we were always sensitive to what people thought and what they said and what they assumed about us just because we were young. So to this day, people don't ever know that he's not our kid. When he's with us, it's always assumed
that he's yours.
That he's ours. Yep, that he's ours. And we're like, actually, it's the next generation. Like, but we don't even really talk about it. He's just one of the kids. You know, like, but it is that thing that you and I were talking about, the layers and the expectations and the stuff that you navigate as a woman, and then the additional layer as a woman of color in this world based on what we think should be true at certain ages.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, my mom used to say all the time, she said she's growing older, never old. And I wonder what you all think about, what is your attitude about aging? You know, what do you think about as you go through that? Alvean, I'll start with you again, just because, you know, you've already given us one perspective, but as you look at the totality of it, I think attitude makes a huge difference in terms of how it's going to be for you as you grow older.
Absolutely. And I think who you spend your time with matters, because that becomes sort of your internal dialogue about aging, and what you do for a career matters too, right? Like if your career is in the public eye, as mine is, the expectation in a society that worships youth is don't look your age. You know, don't get too old. Don't look like you're getting older. So I work out like crazy trying to make sure that age doesn't catch up with me, you know, like because of what I do. But if I wasn't doing what I do, I might feel like some of my girlfriends feel, who totally embrace the fact that they're just a few years of coming out of their 50s, right? Like, and they're so excited about it, but like what they do for a living, it doesn't matter. But because when you have to sell a whole package in a public figure perspective, all of that does matter. And how our society wants to cast you aside the minute you're not in your 30s anymore, and how they want to move you to the left when you come out of your 40s. I mean, like it is a thing. So like navigating how you feel against all that echo chamber, you know, it's its own mental health work to be done.
Absolutely. Daun, what's your attitude towards it?
I have so many thoughts. I was writing and taking notes. Okay, so the first thing I would say is, I don't care what people think. I don't care what people think. I live my life that I am respectful to you, expect you to be respectful to me. I do the things that make me happy, but I really don't care what other people think. I'm
It
want to
really
have a
does.
great
There really is
conversation.
that freedom
Yeah.
once you get it
Yeah.
at a certain age.
and I want all of you to get to that, because I think I was always proud to say how old I was, because the older I got, the smarter I was. So then I wouldn't take anything from anybody. And I think people learned that about me early, but that was me. But I also think that people value wisdom with age and the package that you present to others, because it lets them know that you have lived. And in the experience of whatever you are presenting in the package that you're presenting to the world for your work or for whatever it may be, my ideas and my thoughts are based on all of the experiences, positive and negative, in my growth, that will help me, help you, help your company, or help me as I feel as a leader of a team in my office to be able to lead the millennials. I got babies 19 years old in my office. One just turned 21. And, we celebrated that. But I have to assist her in a different way than I would for the people who are on my team who are now 40 and 50, because they're at different stages. So I bring that skill set. And so for me, that's a gift that I'm able to give to them and all those that I meet. So that package is beautiful no matter the age or the number, because where we are in our lives helps us to be able to not only grow ourselves, but to help others as well.
Help others grow too. Absolutely. Yeah. If you're just joining us, we're talking about ageism with the Another View Roundtable, relationship expert Alvean Lyons, political consultant Gaylene Kanoyton, clean comedian Allison Moore, and treasurer for the city of Norfolk, Daun Hester. 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240 are the numbers to call to join our conversation. Gaylene, what the attitude towards aging?
It's amazing that I'm the same age as old people. That's my attitude.
You need to start calling her the clean comedian.
It's amazing, because I don't know what 64 is supposed to feel like. 64, I'm sorry. 64 is supposed to feel like anyway. I don't know. My mother was 29 for 30 years, because, back then you didn't tell your age,
right.
And I don't mind. I'm like, Dawn, I don't mind telling my age, because everybody say, what? You don't look like it. Well, what am I supposed to look? That's why I say it's amazing. I'm same age as old people. But my attitude is just as I'm just glad to be here. Number one, because people are younger than us is not here.
Yeah.
Today I just lost someone, that I had been working on the political side for years.
Wow.
Just dropped dead.
Sorry.
And so I'm glad. So that's why the healthcare is so big for me, and ensuring that we have access to healthcare, because that's the root to everything right there. Because if you don't have good health, you're not going to have anything. You can't have anything.
You can't have anything else going forward. Allison, as the baby of the group, the youngest of all of us, what's your attitude about growing older?
It's a love-hate relationship. I feel myself shifting, but I know 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was trying to prove to people I'm older than what I look, right? Because I felt disrespected, diminished, not appreciated when people thought, oh, that girl, she like 19, 20. When I felt
so
like...
when they weren't taking you seriously.
Yeah, I didn't feel as if someone took me seriously. Now I'm like, wait, why y'all taking me so serious? Wait, give it back. Underestimate how old I am. So now the attitude toward aging, I am grateful, because I'm like, okay, yes, I made it another year. Okay, yes, I got another to go. I get reminded about my age versus society when I'm with my children. I got 2 children in college, and a lot of people like, you look like you were in college. And so the emotions that people give me when they communicate that is what, the girl, I thought you was younger than that. Well, dang, you old now. Okay, well, never mind. All of the things I was going to say to you are irrelevant now because you're old. That energy, then it makes me like, oh, wait, I wanted to get older, but maybe I shouldn't. Should I not? I'm so confused. So the aging attitude, it give me a little trauma. How should I be feeling, Barbara? Tell me.
You should be feeling that you are perfect where you are and that you are growing in grace. That's where you should be.
Growing in grace. I'm grateful that I look
Absolutely.
good.
And there you go. But I got a question for you guys. And so Big Mama, is she still around? Because look, all of us have grandchildren, right? Dawn,
Not all of us.
not you. You two don't. You two don't.
I was about to say,
the
girl,
three
what you
of us-
telling me? I don't know.
Wait
Let
a
me call
minute.
these
No,
kids. I'ma
you
text
two,
them.
Gaylene and Allison do not, but Dawn and Alvean and I do. And we're not Big Mama. And explain, Alvean, what Big Mama is for those in our audience who may not understand.
That was, the epitome of the Black family in particular. It was the matriarch of the family, the oracle, the one who held the wisdom and can pray you out of the pits of hell, literally. Big Mama was where you went to for every deep emotional experience that you had. She knew it all. She knew the whole family. She got it in line, and she cooked every Thanksgiving meal, every holiday meal. The recipes, if they died with her, you have to dig her back up to be able to get them back. I mean, it's part of the Black culture in that way. And, and it's not to say that those of us who have found ourselves in our grandparenting roles don't love as hard or as big, but
we love differently.
So different.
Yeah.
It looks so different. And I don't go by anything that even sounds close to a grandmother. Okay, not even close. I used to tease Gabriel all the time. I said, let me tell you something. If you ever saw me grandma in the grocery store, I will leave you there.
But it's so funny when you say that, because when my daughter was pregnant with Patience, with my granddaughter, at first I was like, no, don't call me grandma. No. But when I heard her say it, I was like, oh, that's it.
Oh, well, you're sweet. You're sweet. Because when Gabe says it, he says it to be funny. He'll be like, hey, grandma. Because he knows it rubs me wrong. So, I go by Ava because my husband is Black Portuguese. So,
okay.
Ava and Avo, by our Portuguese grandma and grandpa names, is how we've
that's
always
beautiful.
gone. But when you're 38 and you have a grandkid, you're not even trying to have anybody call you
grandma. That's true.
Please, my friends were still in their 20s. No, absolutely not.
Dawn, what do your grandchildren call you?
Grandma Hester.
Grandma Hester.
Oh, that's old school. They put
That's
the
old
last
school,
name
yeah.
to it too. Golly,
That's like going to the
Big
principal's
Mama.
office.
Okay.
So you are Big Mama. Okay.
I am Big Mama. Yeah, they all come to me.
Are you
I
taking
love it.
applications?
Did you hear Allison? She said you taking the applications.
My arms are wide open for all who need.
No,
and
I'm
you
talking about
are
everybody else.
in
I'm talking about
my
me.
Family. You are in my family. But yes, okay, so I have great grands.
Wow.
So, so I am grandma.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, my sister-in-law, her baby calls her Gigi, and somebody calls somebody honey, and I'm like, okay. When you walk up to me, I'm your grandma.
Yeah, that's who I am
Bring
too.
that to me. But that's okay? But there's a 20-year difference between Alvean and me.
Yeah.
It's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And if I were in my 40s when I had them, well, I did, but they were still Grandma Hester. Because, the oldest is 26 now.
Yeah.
I get confused on the ages.
I said that. See, y'all have young grandchildren. My daughter is 41, and my granddaughter is 14. So we're right there. 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Michelle joins us from Chesapeake. Hi, Michelle. You're on the air.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
Good. So my question to the panel, or my thing I wanted to talk about, is that one of the things I've noticed at the beginning of my 5th decade of life is that doctors assume that every complaint is menopause. And it has not been in almost every case.
Oh, wow. Every single case. Have you guys found that out, Gaylene?
I have a great doctor, so no. I'm serious. I have a doctor. She calls me at home or whatever. She maybe see her twice a day. She doesn't do that, but Michelle is right. They blame everything on menopause. It goes back to maternal health. You know what? You have to have a doctor that are in tune to your body and not just label it under one thing. That's how people die. Yeah. Seriously, it really is. Because you listen to the doctor and it could be something else going on with you, and they label you saying this is just menopause and not addressing the real issue.
Do you have trouble talking to your doctor about that, Michelle?
You know what? I didn't, but my problem is that I tend to take them at their word. Like, I'll go in and say, oh, I'm feeling hot all the time. And I get some hot flashes, try this, and it doesn't work. And then I go back and say, maybe we should check my thyroid. And sure enough.
Okay. So you had to do a little self-diagnosis.
Michelle, get a new doctor. I can tell you my doctor's name. What city she is? Chesapeake? I'm over at Hampton. Get a new doctor, please.
Michelle, thanks so much for the phone call. We appreciate it. 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240 are the numbers to call to join our conversation. Tell us about your traveling journey. Go ahead, Dawn.
I just wanted to say that's a very important conversation to have about selecting your doctor and being comfortable with leaving a doctor who is not listening to you.
That's right.
Not responding to your questions. And so I want to encourage everybody that's listening. If you're in that situation, then you do need to find someone and talk to somebody that you trust, a friend or coworker or something, who can recommend a doctor who will not only listen to you, but also advocate with you.
Right. Yeah.
Because you know your body better than anybody else. So you really need to go somewhere.
Absolutely. Alvean, go ahead.
So, and this goes back to, and we're not trying to make this political at all, but I'm just going to, tap my sister Gaylene when I say this. This is why representation is so important, because if we don't have a strong representation of women in medical school, we will have a poor representation of women in the medical field. And as a byproduct, and that's not to say that you can't have good male doctors. So don't hear that. This is not an absolute, but this is to say that no man will ever understand what it's like to navigate some of the things that happen in the female body. So you're using theory to be able to speak to things. You may be using stats to speak to things, but if you've never experienced it, it is very difficult to recognize the nuances that exist in the female body that are part of the medical conversation. So it is important that we have female doctors across this nation who can speak to some of the uniqueness of our experiences as women going through the natural evolution of our bodies. And they happen at different seasons, at different times. And she's 100% right. They will blame everything on hormonal changes, absolutely everything. And quite frankly, that starts post-35. And if you have a baby at 35, you're considered a geriatric pregnancy in America. Yeah. Okay, so our ageism and our female stuff it all in the bundle and stick it in the it's a real thing for us out here navigating this.
So we're talking obviously from a female perspective because we're all women around this round table, but we all also have spouses or significant others or looking for significant others in our lives. How do you notice men handling, one, their own aging, and secondly, your aging? Who wants to start? Go ahead, Allison.
I think, that's interesting that you're saying about the health piece, right? Because I remember when I first when I finished my bid, and I was talking to Sinbad, shout out to the iconic Sinbad, and I'm like, Sinbad, I'm single now. I want you to hook me up with one of your people because, I'm going for an older age. And he was like, oh, so you want to be a nurse?
But it's true.
I was like, I was thinking about sugar daddy. He's like, you want to be a sweet nurse. That's what you want to be. And that was when that conversation, then the insight came in. He was like, men my age, we are going through, we got to take medicine. You going to help somebody with some pills? And he was being funny, but that was my first introduction to men do have conversations, fears they're going through, and they're trying to keep themselves together too. And now that I am out in here in these streets, dating and meeting new people in a different type of way. Because when I was married, having platonic friendships and things, I won't having these kind of conversations. I am like so empathetic to men because I'm like, oh, you got your own fights for ageism and things. And so I see like some of my male friends or brother friends, they're definitely hyper in the gym. They're trying to use this time to slow down the clock. They have whatever type of performance issues that they're trying to keep up with that, they surpass their peaks too. But I think that it's like a real conversation. I'm glad that you kind of invited them into the space too.
Yeah, because it definitely affects both. I mean, it's not.
Let me say this. So when I talk to my older friends, especially professional friends, males, they're rushing to get married. And I'm like, well, why are you rushing to get married? They said, because we don't want to be found. I don't want to be found dead on my kitchen floor and nobody come and find me. Now that sounds funny, but it really is serious. It's really a serious thing. So you'll get some. Just be a nurse.
Listen, the problem is I'm just a little too. I be the forgot. I can't read the stuff. I'm like, oh wait, which one's gonna kill you? Remind me again. You allergic to one of these. You don't like penicillin. Oh Lord, he died. Okay, do I still get some insurance money if you die and it was an accident? I don't know.
But on a serious note, that's true though. They want to have a significant other when they get older. They be running around all day long when they were younger, but when they get older, they want that person.
Absolutely, Dawn. Men and their aging, and also how they deal with your aging.
Okay, so my husband and I have been on a journey this month. He is diabetic. Had stopped taking his medicine. Nowhere. Ended up in the hospital for a week.
Wow.
Okay, praise the Lord. He's home now.
He's doing well. Good.
He's doing better and got himself straight.
Good.
And I had surgery. He is my nurse. So we nursing each other right now. So I'm going, did you do what you're supposed to do? Did you da-da-da-da-da? So it is nice to have somebody to go through that journey with you. But you do reach a certain level, male and female, where, you it's good to have somebody that you can talk to. You don't have to be married to them. It can be your significant other that you're with.
Yeah.
But it is nice to have someone there, because I have had friends, and one couple months ago that had passed away, and, they sent somebody to do a wellness check, and he was gone. And so it is important, one, to have relationships and people who check on you. So it might not be that somebody that's living with you, but you do need to have people that care about you. And so in building those relationships, and that circle of friends that you have, male and female, it is important. And if you don't have it, you need to figure out how to develop it, or at least give someone permission to check on you, because you might not realize that you do need someone to check on you and to know what your health issues are. So, when you go to the doctor and you got to fill out those pieces of paper that say the doctor can talk to so-and-so, put somebody's name down there. Because somebody needs to know.
Absolutely.
Somebody needs to know.
Alvean, to piggyback a little bit on what Dawn was saying also, the whole idea of friendship and how do friends change, or do they change as you get older?
Yeah, I think that, yes, they do. I think a lot of things change as you get older. What we search for changes. Just to touch for one quick second on some of the deep evolutions where men are concerned, what I find most interesting about their evolution is how they change in terms of what their needs are. Most people don't realize, or a lot of people don't realize, if you don't have good, deep male relationships, married or friendships, how much they start to look for emotional connection as they get older. It is not the same. It's not the same when they're young. When they're young, they're just, happy to curl up with anything that has, an attractive body. But when they get older, it's amazing how, yes, attraction is important. That's still a thing, but feeling seen and being able to develop real emotional connection starts to change for men. My husband said just the other day, we were talking about something. This, we'll keep it PG, but we were talking about the importance and the frequency in which people have conversation, okay? We'll speak in code, okay? And how as men age, the way they want to have conversation and what they need in conversation to stay very invested in the conversation and perform at the level they used to in the conversation, the things that shift. And one of the things that he said it was that, sometimes as we get older, some of us, we might want to be kissed. We might want to talk a little bit. We might want to, and all kinds of things that you would have never heard a 20-something or a 30-something man speak of. So that evolution, there is an arc that happens that is not just about what we see on the outside. There's also an evolution that happens on the inside in the process too. And no, we're not saying anything's an absolute. We're just saying that you see a shift in a great majority of individuals. So I would say that yes, things change. Friendships change. Connections change. But I think that the change that happens in the way that we're connected has a lot to do with the transformation that's happening on the inside. Yeah. So we seek differently exterior because of how we've changed interior.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can get one more call in. Denise joins us from Newport News. Hi, Denise. You're in the air.
Hi, Miss Barbara. This is Denise from LNI.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just calling because I'm having the same issue that the other young lady was having, where she's like I guess you would say like in the middle, where people are starting to recognize that you're older than what you were 20 years ago when they wasn't taking you serious. Like, oh, she's just a baby. But now they like, you go to like a restaurant and they don't card you no more. You be like,
girl,
come on now.
Come on, talk to us, Denise. I'm like, if you don't come ask me about my ID, I'm gonna slap somebody up in here. Ask me for my ID, sis.
What you trying to say about me? I be like, what you trying to say?
What are you saying? Yes. This is an 18-year-old movie. Why didn't you ask me how old I am, ma'am? Ignore these gray hairs.
Right there, like. So I'm like, excuse me, don't you want to see my ID? They be looking at me like, I don't need your ID. I'm like,
Denise is a member of the Newport News Neighborhood Leadership Institute, and I had the pleasure and honor of doing a month-long session with the group on communications and communication skills. So you're doing great, Denise. Thank you so much for that call. I'm going to let Allison respond to you.
Yeah, that is it 100%. Like, I'm like, what I look, what you trying to say? But it does impact that self-esteem. But I am so glad that we turned this corner, and because I was going to ask, can Dr. Alvean, she was like, why you be chewing up my name like that? Because I wanted to hear her take on it anyway, because a part of the ageism, what's our code word? Conversation?
Conversation.
Okay.
It was conversation.
Okay, because I got some other code words for conversation.
Yes, conversation.
Then I was getting confused, like, well, what do you code word with the real conversation? But anywho, just feeling sexy, embracing being beautiful. Now that I'm older, I feel more beautiful and sexier than I ever did. But then I'm like, oh, dang, I can't be half naked. I'm old. Like, what? Like, I want to show everybody I'm fine out here. I am fine. But then I'm like, oh, but wait, this is not how 40-year-olds act. So that's a thing for me, too. And I would love to hear, tips from y'all, from the aunties.
Okay. Auntie Gaylene.
Well, let me just say this. I have just started to recognize that I could use a senior citizen discount.
So do you wear lingerie when you go use this discount? Okay. Tie it in for me. Loop me in.
I had no idea. You always pass it up. That's not me. That's not me. I'm like, wait, that is me now, right? I can get that discount when I fly. I go to restaurants. But
do you feel sexy?
Yes, I'm 64.
You are.
Yes.
I mean, you look sexy.
Yeah, but I do. As you get older, and then Dawn said it, you don't care what other people think. It's about between you and your God. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, if you feel good about yourself and you're doing everything to take care of your body, your mind, your temple, because your body is your temple. I feel great. I just got a lot of stuff left to do, but I do feel great.
She just wants to be busy. Alvean, you.
This her jam, right? This your jam. This exactly. Your jam. Look, we got 2 minutes out here, but lay it down.
So what I'll say is this. the sexiest thing that a woman can put on is self-confidence. So there's no question about the fact that as we age, we need to fall in love with ourselves because that is creating the song that other people are hearing, right? So if we don't feel great about us, nobody else does.
That's right.
And that is absolutely true for our male, those of us who are in sexual relationships, absolutely true for our male counterpart. If you feel good in your skin, there's something so attractive and magnetic about that. So our first responsibility, our first romantic experience, and our first real pursuit needs to be to fall in love with us. And if we can do that, come to accept the curves and all of the layers that they come with, and know that when you love those layers, he will too. When you have the right person is attracted to all of the right curves that you have. But you've got to love your right curves for him, because your comfort lets him know that it's safe to come close to it. Your confidence in it makes him feel like it's okay to rub it, to touch it, to feel it. But that only happens when you're comfortable with it, because when you recoil because you're worried about the little cheese or the little ripple here, that he feels like he has to back off, and you create distance, right? Yeah. And in that distance, our lack of self-confidence is the real issue. Not the roll, not the little piece of cheese, not the cellulite. It's our discomfort that is creating the distance. But if we embrace that whole thing, he will be happy to embrace it with you. So our job is to love us first, so that somebody else can join into the party of loving us also.
You knew she was going to do it. Go ahead, Dawn.
I don't know what else to say to that, but amen, and that is correct.
Okay, well then
love yourself.
Let me just say this. We've got like 2 minutes left, so y'all got to keep this close or short. But we have 1 minute. Okay, real quick. What would you tell your 20-year-old self today in expectation for where you are now?
Listen and do your best always. Excellence.
Okay. Allison?
If it's not changing, it's not going to change. So you got to do something different.
Okay. Dawn?
Keep loving yourself. Do it early. Learn yourself early. Learn what you like and what you don't like, and just keep moving forward each day. Make mistakes. Get up. Start a new day.
Okay. And Alvean, you get the last word.
Most of these people you're thinking about now, you're not even going to remember their names. But the question is, are you going to remember your own? Don't lose yourself trying to please an invisible audience.
You ladies are just incredible. Gaylene Kanoyton, Allison Moore, Daun Hester, and Alvean Lyons, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. And we hope that, audience, you got some wisdom out of this. Enjoy, embrace wherever you are in life, and keep moving forward. So thank you again for the privilege of spending the past hour with us. We appreciate the privilege of spending the past hour with you. You can listen to this show again, or to any of our other Another View programs. You can find us at anotherviewradio.org. And you can also find us on Spotify or any place that you get your podcasts. Next week on Another View, okay, guess what? He's up to something new again. Mr. Jay Sennett, our very own Jay Sennett. He's got a new, exciting way to experience jazz, and he's going to come on the show to tell us about it. Our theme music is an original composition created especially for Another View by Jay Sennett. Lisa Godley is our show producer. Jordan Christie is our audio engineer, and Dr. Barry Graham answered our phones. I'm Barbara Ham Lee. No matter your age, do something this weekend that makes you smile. And let's get together again next Thursday at noon for Another View.
Support comes from Hampton Roads Community Foundation, carrying out your charitable wishes forever, whether it's helping shelter animals, feeding the homeless, enhancing the arts, or supporting students. Learn more at leaveabequest.org.